I believe by now we have established that black girl curls, their ways of hair care and how they came to teach us is flawed. It is flawed. And our experiences, things that we've noticed with our hair, some of us right from the start let us know that their ways were flawed. Some consumers, like myself, decided to make some adjustments to my routine or to our routine to tailor it to fit our hair's needs as it is. But some other people continue to follow it up to a T, and I can understand why they would do that. And I am sure that some of us that did not follow it up to a T, it wasn't because we didn't want to follow it up to a T, but there were certain conditions, there were certain reasons why we couldn't follow it up to a T. And I will address all of that as we go. Now, this is supposed to be fun, so it should be fun because honestly, I am tired of the tension and the toxicity in the community. There is nothing like that in the skincare community. There is nothing like that in the makeup community. There is toxicity everywhere, but when it comes to the natural hair community, it is something else. The way we approach issues, whatever there is any, is disheartening, right? So there was no update on the detox. So we do a 30-day hair detox, put aside our eco styler, put aside our oils and butters, put aside this and that, do it for 30 days, and then what? Afterwards, what? Most people felt like they had a long way to go because some of us, our stylists may have mentioned that we needed to do this routine and follow it for a long time. 30 days wasn't enough. If you do it for that 30 days and afterwards you see the effect of it on your hair and you like it, obviously you would want to continue. And when stuff like this come up, we want to keep following it to make sure that our hair gets to the best. You get it? To be hydrated and to have the best possible hair that we can have on our heads. Now, the only stylist that ever did an update that I attended a webinar of theirs was Elaine of Yes Hair Studios. So it was there at the webinar that I got to know that even our choice of shampoos had to change. You get it? And she is one of the few hairstylists that I noticed that was concerned or thought outside the box a little, thinking of what next. And this webinar was mostly for people that have done the detox. We're confused because up to a point we are like, so what next? They put us in a box where there are some things such as even to use a deep conditioner, you would have to go ask your stylist. And if you've been on this channel for long throughout my detox process, that is something that I've always had an issue with. And I will be putting in clips of myself saying it so that somebody doesn't say that you are now just coming to say this. No. I mean, why should I wait for a stylist to tell me that I need a deep conditioner before I use a deep conditioner? I didn't understand that. Alright, so a few years back, consumers like Shelly and Rosie came out and aired their pain, their disappointment in the changes that they've seen in our hair, and it was a lot of damage, right? But one thing that I believe in is that I think my issue was with their delivery, right? And my issue with the delivery was that, number one, let's see it as they said it. Let's say it as they said it. Let's say it as Aisha said it. Let's say it as Elise said it. To criticize something, we need to say it exactly as it is, identify the problem, and find a solution to it. If we don't see the problem as it is and identify and define the problem as it is, then how do we find a solution to it? Because if the problem is false, then we are wasting our time trying to find a solution to it. So that we know how to attack the issue as it is. If we bend the issue, then how we attack it, we don't really have a point. You get it? But let's say it as it is. And I raise concerns such as the use of leave-in conditioners and the use of deep conditioners. I read the Wash Your Damn Hair ebook. I was on See Some Curls for just a bit, right? But what I got on there was the purpose of leave-in conditioners in our wash and goes and why we did not need them. Because if I remember correctly, the use of leave-in conditioners was like a must, right? You had to use a leave-in conditioner. Sometimes even if the leave-in conditioner doesn't mix well with the other stylists that we want to use for that particular style, we want to use a leave-in conditioner. It made us understand that they have a purpose. Every single product has a purpose, right? So if it's purpose, then how it fits into whatever style that you want to do. So I was like, they did not say that no leave-in conditioners. They said it wasn't needed in wash and goes, right? And so there's that. And also about deep conditioners, they said it was a treatment. They didn't say we shouldn't deep condition, but they said it was a treatment. And we both know that treatments, you need to have an issue to treat, right? Just like you can't just pick up benzoyl peroxide, you can't just go pick it up and say you saw it at a store and you see people use it, so you're also using it. Why are people using benzoyl peroxide on their skin? Or why are people using salicylic acid on their skin? Why are people using niacinamide, all of that on their skin, right? So it had a purpose too. One thing that I had an issue with was that when do we know that we should use a deep conditioner? Well, to the stylists, I believe they were told that you would know. It really isn't enough information. How would they know that they would want to use a deep conditioner? So those were my two issues. I was like, say it as it is, and then let's attack it together. Let's attack it together, because right from the start, I had an issue with the delivery of Aisha and Elise, especially Aisha. I had issues with her delivery because I'm like, you're working with people all over the world. You're working with people in a community. We already know our track record, how we respond to the things and how sensitive we are about our hair. If we give you a listening ear for you to tell us what you have come up with, something that we believe that you have tried on people, something that we believe that you were very confident about that it was going to work for us, right? So you came, we give you the listening ear, and then your delivery was very poor. At a point, it was a quick protocol. We are having this crypto sale or something on the internet or the live. I have this issue, go and buy Wash Your Damn Hair. I have this issue, See Some Curls. I have this issue, book with a stylist. I have this issue, wash your hair. I have this issue. That's how it was going. And then it came to a point, every single answer to every single question was See Some Curls. Of course, they have a business. Of course, they have to make money. But I'm sorry, not at the expense of people who actually want to get their hair in a good place. Not a community like ours. So my issue with the delivery of the people that had issues with it was not in a way that I could come and say something, because if you are saying no leave-in conditioners when they didn't say no leave-in conditioners, and I'm thinking this through, let's say we are in court. Can you prove that they said this? Can you prove that they said that? And they had a written book, so they can refer in there. If they said no leave-in conditioners, why then did they recommend leave-in conditioners as part of the list? So I see it from that point of view. Obviously, people were not happy with my response to it, and I can understand. We are in a place where we agree to disagree, right? And not everything that everybody says is what we agree on. But then I have had my issues with Aisha, had my issues with Elise, their delivery, the way they do their work. I don't understand why. Customer service is very, very important. Is the main thing with them, because you are in contact with the people always, all the time. You're on lives all the time. People come there to listen to you. That these people were so dismissive, these people were so rude, these people were so, all of those things. And then the stylists that they were training also became that. Of course, I had a number of stylists block me. I've had a number of stylists stop being in contact with me. Some stylists that were my friends, even I had issues with them, because I am that person that would say it as it is. But me saying it as it is, I have to make sure that I get what you said right so that I can defend from that point of view. So I would say that the energy that was used to address the approach, the energy that Elise and Aisha came forward with, I can agree that that is the same energy that the people that had issues with responded with the same energy. And I like to think that maybe they contacted them personally and they probably didn't respond in a way that they liked, and that was why they came up with those issues. They came up addressing the issues the way they did. And I like to believe that if they went to them and then they listen to them and then they try to help or be like, maybe in our study we did not come up with such a challenge like this. That's only if they actually even did a study. We did not come up with an issue like this. So if there is an issue like this up, oh, people, maybe there's some people who have come up with this and that. We are trying to do this. I don't know, but I believe in updates. You get it? In science, right? There is always an update. There is always research. There is always something. There's a way of doing something. That's what I have always known, and even in life, right? So this was how it became, and I believe that this created an atmosphere where people were scared to even come out to say whether they had an issue with their hair or not. The time I had the issue where my cuticles were blown out, that time there were no issues. I'm sure that people had realized it, but then they didn't know how to come forward with it. And then I started watching YouTube from the OGs where it was a safe space to come and say that I had an issue and then these are my updates. So I came out, said what the issue was and how I was fixing it and how I fixed my hair. And it was that easy. I wasn't being dragged on any live, this and that. No, I wasn't. And it was easier then. But I believe that our emotions got in the way, and because of that, things just went in so many ways that have brought us to this place where now people have anxiety issues. Like watching Car's video, I was like, oh my god, I am still battling with anxiety and depression, and I can understand how it is, to the extent that sometimes even you have to put your phone on silence because if a single ring you just get jump scares all the time. You are always on edge. Anxiety is something that I don't wish even on my worst enemy, because no, it put me down in ways that I don't know how to describe it. And I still have so many anti-anxiety pills and antidepressant pills that I'm still taking, and I can understand how it feels like, and no, I do not wish that on anybody. And so seeing that it went to that extent with Car, I like, why? It shouldn't be like that. There is always a better way of doing something. That issue could have been handled in a very, very good way and in a healthy manner. Encourage everybody else that had issues with their hair to come forward for that issue to be dealt with. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way. My hair journey and how, okay, so I have my iPad on my lap. Okay, I have my notes so that I don't go outside of whatever it is. So how my lack of access to hairstylist and products sort of helped me. My disadvantage helped me. So I lived in Ghana before, and I did not have access to the hairstylist that most of you have access to in the US and in the UK. No, actually, Elaine started this thing, Tides Coronation, and Ghana was one of the first countries that she came to train some of the stylists there to do it. But like I said in my previous videos, we do not wear our hair in wash and goes back in Africa. It is not the way we wear our hair. And so that way of styling was not something that was going to be patronized a lot, right? But then I like the idea because we were being introduced to different ways where we could wear our hair so that it is not in a way, because being in Africa, being in Ghana, let me know that natural hair is not something that you would do. Like, I'm all dressed up, honey, I'm looking really cute right now, but that is because the style is nice enough. I don't know how to put it, but it was just a wake-up call for us to know, like, okay, If you don't like the way you wear your hair this way, if wearing your hair that way is not seen as nice, you can wear it like this and make it look good. And that is why I was very happy and proud to be one of the creators in Ghana that was pushing natural hair, wearing my hair in different ways that made it look nice, and somebody would see and be like, because of you, I want to go natural. So that was the whole thing, to let us know shea butter is very, 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 very cheap. One of the cheapest things you can find in Ghana. And so, of course, it's something that we just dig in and just slap onto our hair and all of that. So obviously we needed that education. And so because of that, obviously I did not have the hairstylist that most of you had access to. I didn't have the products that most of you had access to. And even if you had access to it, the products were expensive. You get it? At a point, I got to know that the way that I would just dip into my Eco Styler gel is different from the way I would handle my acrylic hold, right? And knowing this, not because of the price difference, but also knowing how to use acrylic hold, it let me know that I really do not need as much, because I knew that I got to know from Black Girl Curls that I needed to have wet hair and then put it on, and I don't need a lot. I need about a pump and a half on each section and all of that. I transferred that knowledge onto the way I use every other product. And so with every other product, I learned to wet my hair, and then with that I got to know that even with my deep conditioners, I don't need a whole bunch on them. Most of them are concentrated so much that just wet your hair, apply it on it, and it starts to form up. I realized that I don't need a lot. So the knowledge that I got from Black Girl Curls, the product knowledge and everything, well, I didn't have a stylist to go to that I can just book an appointment with and all of that. And so I just used the knowledge that I had to my use and tailor my hair routine to the way that it would suit me. And in that, I was able to guide other naturals in Ghana to be able to follow that. In all this, trying to find alternative products that could work for them, I sort of had a huge responsibility on me, because not only in Ghana, sort of Nigerians that I was supporting, and also I had Nigerian creators that were also supporting. We were all doing a great work at that. So with this, I had to be with using other products. I love Agile Beauty, and so I was using Agile Beauty as well. And Agile Beauty, the Biomint line especially, is more geared towards moisture, right? So there are lots of oils and lots of butters in this product. No, I was not using raw butters on my hair. I wasn't using raw oils on my hair. But then after the damage that I had with the improper use of my AG shampoo and having to correct it with my Haircare conditioner that I had because I didn't have access to Innocence hair bath. After that, my hair became, it was so rough. I put it on Elaine's page on Facebook. I let everybody know because it was a safe space. I didn't have to make a whole video and be so tense and address it. It was safe enough. And that is what I am trying to achieve at the end of this video, that if you have any issue, you can safely come out and address the issue. Well, so my lack of access to hairstylist and access to product probably helped me, because I worked with what I had and trying to even ship in the product, because I was in Ghana, but then I was working with US brands, and then I had lots of US audience. And so I was trying to balance the two. In balancing the two, I had to ship the Do products all the way to Ghana. I had to ship Innocence products all the way to Ghana. I had to ship, you get all of that. It was a lot for me, but I was able to juggle between the two and to serve my audience in a way that I could. When I had the damage with AG, Elaine came to Ghana. Before she came, we would have conversations about my hair. I would send her pictures. She sees me do my hair in my videos and all of that. So she came for the appointment. She held my hair and she was like, girl, what's going on with your hair? Right from touching it, she knew something was wrong. So I told her about it. She asked, had conversations, and figured out it was the AG that was causing the issue. I wasn't using any other shampoo after the AG, right? and I wasn't a heavy oil user, a heavy butters user. So obviously I didn't even need that strong shampoos that was generally recommended for everybody. So that assumption of black girl curls that everybody had something to detox from, that was the number one mistake that I did. I don't know. I remember in one of these videos they said for something that had no data, they just assumed that we were using lots of oils and butters, and then so everybody had something to detox from. So that assumption affected people like me. So I had the damage. My hair was so rough. I had to use extra products, extra everything, conditioning. I had to do lots of smoothing, a whole lot of things, but I was able to fix it. But no, I did not shy away from the whole thing. Obviously, I used the knowledge that I got. I used it to my gain, right? So I sort of became a curly hair knowledge collector. If I would watch their lives, obviously everything the answer was season curls. Everything the answer was season curls. So I listened carefully, and definitely they would say something that would come up. It's been a while I watched some of their lives, but I have seen bits of their videos that was taken and responses were made to them. And when I listen, I'm not listening to actually judge them. Oh, you said this, now you're saying this. Because I don't know, but my thinking right from the start has made me to think like that now. And so if I would hear them say something like maybe, oh, in this cold weather they put a gel and they would put a cream on top, I'm like, is that helping? I'll give it a try. If it works for me, I'm gonna add it to my box of the knowledge that I have and then move with it. If it doesn't work for me, I'm good with it. I just put it aside. I don't have to force it on myself just because the almighty Elise said she did it and she likes it. My issue with hairstylists made us think they knew something that we didn't know, but they didn't. They didn't really know when really we had to use deep conditioners. Couldn't we have figured it out ourselves? We were using deep conditioners before they jumped into the whole thing for us to skip together. I don't know, but we were using deep conditioners before. And sometimes we would know that, oh, my hair is dry, I need to do my deep conditioner. I remember at a point we were doing deep conditioning weekly and it was working for us. Obviously, some people had high growth fatigue and a whole lot of things and all, but I think that there were words that could describe how our hair would feel that would make us know that we needed to do deep conditioning. I did color, and at a point, that was shortly after my detox, I started my detox, I had color. That was when I was able to fix the damage from the AG. I did color, and so after a while, my hair was good for a while, and then I realized it was getting drier and drier. And that was when I started doing my deep conditioners. So no stylist felt my hair to do it. I had conversations with Elaine, and I don't know about how other people's relationship with Elaine is, but between a consumer and a stylist, we do sort of, she's the stylist that would brainstorm with you. That is how I have experienced hair. And so that was what helped me. And so we will brainstorm together and be like, let me try a deep condition. And that is how I've been able to bring my hair up to this stage as it is now. And I haven't experienced any webbing. I haven't experienced anything. I have looked at strands of my hair and they look good, right? They look good. I have done it and they look good. I don't know what another stylist may say. One thing is I am so used to not having a stylist check my hair every single minute and a whole lot, so I don't even have the urge to rush to go and see a stylist and see what my hair is doing and all of that, because honestly we can't be about that life. The stylists were also following blindly. Everything that is happening now is letting us know that they were following blindly, because so many people are complaining of damage. And I believe that most people had stylists that they were following. And so they were just following blindly. A stylist will always do it better. A stylist who actually knows how to cut. No matter how much I know how to do my hair, stylists will always be needed. There is always space for a stylist. But in this case, they were following blindly. They didn't do any extra research. So people are doing the detox. So next, what? And that is what I say to commend Elaine, that she did further studies and did that webinar for people that wanted to know what next. That was when she talked to us about the deep conditioning, even the bond treatment, and how our hair could possibly be feeling at this point, and how to face it, and how to do this and how to do that. Honestly, I needed that second webinar. I needed that update webinar long ago, because I have been detoxing for a very long time, for years, 2 3 years or something like that. So I needed that, and at least that alone made me know that she had some sense of responsibility, and she was thinking outside of the box that they were put in. Coming out, in my opinion, as in, if the hairstylists were not following blindly and they actually were doing some studies behind the scenes, and let's say we didn't know, they were doing their own studies behind the scenes and a whole lot of things, like, no, they were not making noise about it the way they were making noise about when the whole thing came out initially, and everybody was like, you should wash your hair. Why are you doing this? Sign up for this class. Sign up. Everybody was doing a class to tell us the very same things that they say on the lives. Oh well, it's their business. However they choose to go about their business to make their money, it is up to them and the people that needed that resource and then decided to patronize. Of course, I attended a number of the webinars and the classes that I had to, because I needed the knowledge, right? They had so many rules around their crafts. It's like, you need to come and see me before you do this. When I was in Ghana and I would hear people paying $300 and $400, some people were charging as much as $700 to do a wash and go. And I'm like, wait, hold on, a wash and go? That I would go to the salon, get it done, probably get a cut, and maybe 5 days, 7 days I have to wash out. No, I wasn't even go. Even the salons that were taught how to do the wash and goes in Ghana, they were pricey for me. If they were generally pricey, if you have ever lived in Ghana and you know how the currency runs, it was an expensive service. And somebody like me who knew how to do my wash and goes, honestly, I wasn't going to the salon to get my wash and go done. So what next for you as a consumer? What next for us as consumers, right? The fact is, curly hair study still hasn't been figured out. It hasn't. It hasn't. And so if I were you, the question, so what should I do to my hair? I wouldn't ask it again. I would stop asking, because nobody knows. Nobody knows. You really are asking. People, we are still figuring out things. But one thing I've realized about us as Black women is we want to know what to do. We want to know that starts like this, and the next do this, next do that, next do this, and then this. That is what we need. We want to know, so what should I do? We love our hair so much. We adore our hair so much. We have invested a lot in our hair. We want to know what to do to our hair. We are ready to listen to what to do to our hair. But at this point, if I were you, I wouldn't ask that what should we do? Because hairstylists that had years and years of studies came out, and then even when people started raising issues, to decency to at least listen and do something about it, they didn't. And that and our overthinking and our emotions drove us to a place which created this toxic environment where now I can't imagine having damaged hair and looking in the mirror every time, especially if it is giving you anxiety. You look in the mirror every time, you can't escape it unless you shave off your head. Well, if I were you, I wouldn't ask the question, so what should I do? Because one thing that I know is that it hasn't been figured out. It hasn't been figured out. Any great hairstylist will tell you that it's not what this person will do for their hair is not what is going to work for this person. It doesn't work like that. So if I were you, I wouldn't even ask anybody, so what should I do with my hair? Because no, we haven't figured it out. unless you are ready to know that there are bumps in the road and that it gets to this point. When it gets to a certain point in your hair routine and something is going wrong, you shouldn't be so quick to be, hey, you said I should do this and that. No. Can we please be calm? Can we be calm? The world is already a lot already. Are we going to be all hair about our hair too? No. Yes, it's important, honey. I love my hair. I do not let anybody play in my hair. I love my hair. But I'm not going to let it stress me out, especially when there is a better way of handling it. No way. Well, what options do we have? Because if you ask the question, what should I do? Trust me, you will get answers. There'll be people in the comment section to tell you, I make my own products and they work for me. Somebody will tell you, my stylist is the good one, come to her. My stylist is this. Oh, well, I do this. So you will get answers. Ask every hairstylist, you will get answers. But then you should be ready for when it gets to a point where it is not working the way that it should anymore. You should be ready and be patient enough for you to work through it with your stylist. And if it gets to a point where they can't do it anymore, sometimes you just have to make these hard decisions yourself. What options do we have? Number one option will be to figure it out yourself. Figure it out yourself. Because there are people that are doing it. Don't you know there are so many content creators on Instagram who have so much beautiful and thriving hair, and they don't talk about this no oils, no butters thing? Some of them are actually even practicing it, but they are not talking about it. And I believe that is even a much safer space, because you don't have to answer to somebody when you do not use a leave-in conditioner, when you're deep conditioning your hair, or when you are doing something, or when you see the need to use an oil, because every single product has a place. So figure it out yourself. Figure it out, because when I was in a place where I didn't have access to a hairstylist, I figured it out myself. Figure it out yourself too. That is one option. Or you partner with a stylist that you can brainstorm with. A stylist that won't behave and know it all, because you don't know my hair and I am with my hair more than you are. So have a stylist that you can actually brainstorm with. A stylist that is willing to think with you, come up with ideas with you. Because if you leave the thinking to just them and they do something, sometimes maybe we are just looking for somebody to blame, but I will join in the thinking, because it is my hair that is in play here, not theirs. So no. So my thing is, if all of these hairstylists that said they were trained and they had this training and they had this experience, if all of them ended us here, are we really going to put our hair in the hands of another? If you're a hairstylist and you want to even take that responsibility onto yourself, honestly, I don't know what is wrong with you. Especially when you have seen the way issues were handled at this point. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't want that on me. So, well, individual preferences. So one thing that I would say is that only one size fits all when it comes to curly hair care. That I can confidently say is cleanse, condition, and style. That is the only one size fits all in this, because you have to cleanse, right? You have to condition, and then you have to style. You can't escape any of these three. That is the only one size fits all in this, because everything in, on, and in between is what makes the differences for each and every one of us. That is it. And that is all that I have to say about this. I want to say that I feel your pain. When I had my issues in the start, I was sort of alone. It was until I posted my video that I got people say in the comment section that, oh, me too. I was alone. I had to fix it by myself. I had to go through it by myself. Of course, I had conversations with my stylist, but I was with my hair all the time and I had to fix it by myself, right? And if I came out to say it and then there were rude comments about it, I don't know how I would have felt. So I want to say that those that had issues, or that those that have issues that are still dealing with it and all of that, I'm sending hugs to all of you. And those that stayed strong to try to figure things out and come up with better ways that everyone could use to check how much split ends they have and how to address their split ends and a whole lot of them. You guys did a great job, and I'm sorry if I said anything that affected any of you, if I said anything that hurt the feelings of any of you. I will send you hugs because I know how devastated I was when I had my damage, and I handled it my own way, and so I feel your pain. I feel the well-being and everything that you experienced. I experienced it right in the start, so I can understand. Sending hugs to each and every one of you, and I figured I'd say my 2 cents about everything that is going on. So again, I'm sending hugs to every one of you. Thank you.